Hey, hey, hey.
All right, how you doing, Charlie? Do you mind if I can call you that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call me Charlie 100%. Here, let me pull you up on stream here.
Yeah, I've just been doing my run of interviews, so I'm excited to finally just talk.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's an uncomfortable topic, so it takes a lot to do what you're doing. So I do appreciate you giving me the time
Yeah,
here.
of course, of course. I'm just shocked of how everything kind of transpired because I've been watching you for a long time and this is just crazy to cross my mind, but I gotta speak my mind and speak my truth.
Yeah, no, I totally get that, and I do appreciate it. Hold on. I'm leaking our DMs immediately here. That took almost 0 seconds. Okay, perfect. All right, we're in business.
We're in business.
All right, so your name's Dylan. Is that okay
Yeah,
if I call you that?
yeah, you can call me Dylan.
All right, so why don't we just take it from the top? So, how did you and Caitlin meet and become friends?
Right. So we became business partners first, right? So I reached out to her and wanted to get her PC set up kind of right. So that's kind of like the lore is that I'm her PC sponsor. Um, so we met initially 2 years ago, and I built her computer, and then just kind of hit it off as friends, and then I became kind of a mod doing more behind the scenes work for content related stuff. And just kind of had a personal relationship with kind of how tight knit with that kind of stuff kind of goes around with a content creator.
Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, how close would you say you guys are? Do you guys like talk every day? Do you guys play games together off stream? Like, what does that dynamic look like?
Yeah, so yeah, no, we do play games off stream together. She is like super into Valorant, and she's made me probably a way better player than just from our friendship and just having our banter and just like going back and forth on stuff like that. So I just like I've gotten better at games thanks to her and our time off stream. And then we talk pretty much every week because we have like obviously so I want to tell people that I came and visited and I'm on vacation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, let's do some streams together, right? So I know how to cook and I know she's into cooking streams, and then that we would do like a drinking stream, right? So that's just kind of what happened. I was like, oh, let's make the most out of my trip because it was like super last minute, and she was like super accommodating for a last minute idea. So
Now, I think all of that content idea sounds super logical, but did you
mhm.
discuss like you being the subject of all of the jokes? I'm using that word real loosey goosey here because, in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's less jokes and more just deep cut insults. And I know you're at her house right now, so it might be a
Mhm.
little uncomfortable to get serious about it. But
No, I mean, I've thought about it and just like, I've been kind of shifting, I've been in a character arc development, right? So I've been taking more initiative on being a part of her content, right? So like she does other content like dating shows and interviews, therapy, just chatting meta, right? And I have recently became like a co-host, a personality that's a regular on her chat. And the personality I like to give is like my nickname's the Dizzler, hence the rise of the Riz, a Rizzler, Dizzler, right?
right,
So initially the idea was, oh, if I got a kiss, it'd be like hype, be W's, it's pushing that Dizzler narrative that I've been working on because I've been doing co-hosting, wingmanning for guys, helping the girls that do the content we do together. And because to talk to girls, you have to have some kind of competency, and like to have the competency to teach them how to work on their is, right? So like I have to have that kind of confidence to talk to them, not back down and like, oh, I'm a Discord mod, this and that. You just say I'm a normal guy that talks to people that just happens to mod for Sub Caitlin. It just that's just what happened. So
yeah, and I get that. That's not really like
okay,
where I'm confused on the
okay.
relationship or anything. But
Oh,
you already mentioned the kiss Like, did you expect that kind of response when that donation goal was hit, where she'd start just like dry heaving, like she, trying to throw up, like as if you were so unbelievably revolting that she had to run away, rinse out her mouth, fucking say a prayer or something for forgiveness because of kissing you? Like, there's no way that was a joke you knew was coming, or like this was the content you envisioned.
I wasn't shocked from it because we've discussed, like our friendship is like brother sister. And then if you put your mindset on like, she only kisses someone very seldomly, if at all, right? That she has to kiss someone that she sees as like a little brother. And I can understand that. I wouldn't want to kiss my older sister and be, you know,
Is that okay? So is that the relationship you feel you have with her, a brother sister? Do you rate like everything in that stream? I watched it. You were extremely sweet and complimentary of her, like not as a sister, but as someone who's clearly more interested than that. Do you feel it's a brother sister relationship, or just the
brother
way?
brother sister. Because I feel like, when you mentioned something about like romantic interest, is like if that's the case, I wouldn't be invited to her place. I wouldn't be living here in her personal space, right? So that's the agreement and our trust and friendship, to kind of keep it at that content level and just like kind of understand that we are here to try to entertain. Now, did it achieve that goal? Kind of, sort of, but yeah, I do see her as like an older sister, and that's just how I have to perceive it, right? You know.
Do you see why that's kind of hard for me to believe? Like you gave her a 10 out of 10 on the hotness scale when it was asked would you hit, you were like, "Yeah, I definitely hit." She's like, "I definitely wouldn't." Or, "Are you two dating?" "No, I don't claim him." Things like that, even though it's with the things you said, it feels like it's not brother sister on your end. It feels more like she keeps you there because that's how she wants it to feel. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, and that's because I'm just super in tune of like what the content we were looking to push out, right? It's just like because if I say nah, I wouldn't hit. Oh, she's a 7 out of 10. Oh, that just means I'm just saying it just to say it because if I don't mean it or like don't think my friend is all that, then because I got to be honest with myself at some points. Like I think it's okay to make not direct compliments, but like if we're in that situation, just be honest, and it's
So then, are you happy with this kind of content that gets made at your expense, where she's saying things like, "Oh, your hand's tinier than mine," which means, or we're the same size hands, so you have a tiny dick, or "I'd rather go with my ex who emotionally abused me and traumatized me than date you for 6 months." Is that like good content to you? Like, is that a good relationship?
I would say, I'm the guest, and that's just what came out of her mouth. I can't control
But
what
then just tell
jokes.
me, regardless of what you can control, how did that make you feel? Did that feel like content, or did that feel like, oh, that didn't feel good at all to hear you say those things? You care about her. Even if it's a brother sister dynamic that you're saying, you clearly
Right,
care about her. And for her to say
right.
something like that and meaner throughout the stream, did
Mhm.
that feel like content, or did it feel like she was taking these extremely rude jabs at you?
Um, I just didn't take it personally because I just feel like, like like we both had to reassure each other, whatever had been said or what, like I could have dished out more. I could have been like, I'm way better than your ex. What the fuck are you trying to say,
See,
right?
and that's where I'm even more confused because you
Right,
and Caitlin keep saying it's banter. Banter is an exchange. This was
right.
a one-handed fucking wallop here, where all she was doing was insulting you. Throughout the stream, you made one slight joke about her and kind of got uncomfortable and backpedaled it. That's not banter. This was you being there for her to just spit on, like a trash can, basically.
Right.
Like that.
Uh,
And if we're going the content route, wouldn't you want to be the Dizzler who's like, "No, I'm actually way above her," or like when she's going in for the kiss, you stand up and you walk away? That would be more content brained than what happened here, which is why I feel
mhm.
like this doesn't really add up.
Right. And I think everyone was kind of seeing me struggle with my cat allergy thing, right? So I just was already trying to hold it together and just like trying not to fuck it up even more, already as fucked as it, right? Because like if you people who know me as my personality as the Dizzler, right? There are
Hmm.
times where like she'll have me come on and talk, and I'll be like, "So, when are you coming over and we're gonna do it?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good," because like I'm talking to whatever, right? Because part of helping her with her content, I have to talk to a lot of women, and I joke about like, "No, don't worry about me. You already done enough for me," or whatever, right? So. It's just like there's moments where like she'll throw it out there and then it's up to me to like take that content or like mold it to what I want it to be. It's just that day you is an extreme version of pushing it on the this is a Discord mod, this is a Twitch mod. He's in my fucking house and I have to kiss him.
But
That was
but why
the
do you
that
why do you settle for that? Like why be that guy? You're not a bad looking guy. You're not a weird guy too. Like you break the mold of like that stereotypical creepy weirdo mod who's gonna be like snorting panties out the wazoo or whatever. Why
right.
settle for being that to her?
Hmm. It's just I think it just comes down to what I've done beforehand to get to this point. It's just, I had recently gotten out of a 5-year relationship, right? And I decided to take this trip and just kind of like use it as soul searching. And a part of that is I'm still going to have some tendencies that I left behind or carry with me, right? So I'm just the guy to take it all in and burden it. And that's just something I've been working on
But
for a
even the way
while.
you're describing it, burdening it, but why? Why do that? Like you're not a weirdo. You don't need to be taking this burden from her saying these extremely disrespectful things to your face and having her chat dogpile you for being a mod in my house, red alert. Oh my god, I have to kiss this guy. You're not a 6 out of 10. I would have said that. Like why take that? You don't That's not a healthy relationship. Like I don't know how
Right.
she treats you off stream. If she's extremely sweet to you when the cameras aren't on, and then she treats you like this when the cameras are on, I mean she's fake and she is embarrassed of you, and that's again not healthy. I talked about this right before you joined. It's kind of like I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. Kids, they'll have like a friend group, and there's usually like someone in that friend group that is just a punching bag. It's not really a friend, and that person doesn't feel like they really belong there, but they also don't want to leave because it's still that group. So they just take it, and it's not good. It doesn't feel good. And that's what all of this seemed like to me. It doesn't seem content brain, because if it was all like, the Dizzler's marching through, we better hide your bitch, the satin panty's gonna be flying out the door, Dizzler's here, I feel like you would have turned down the kiss. You would have said, actually, you're a 6 out of 10. That would have been you laying into that persona. And if she was playing along with it for content, she'd be like, oh no, he's not gonna fuck me, but when we go to this club, damn, it's about to get wild out there. It's gonna pop. But none of that happened. It felt
Mhm.
more like she used you to just insult perpetually, to bring you down, to put up this. I don't want to use the word facade because I don't know her, but to put up this whole barrier like, this guy doesn't have a chance. Let's laugh at him, and that's not good. Like that's no one deserves that kind of treatment.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you how it's a formula, right? This is what it boils down to in her personality, right? So the reason why I agreed to do some of the things we that happened is because I separate the person from the streamer, the content creator from the person. I am friends with the person, and whatever it is, like for example, right? It could have been a super hot guy and he could have had some kind of ick like play I don't know Rocket League or he plays League of Legends, but he's like amazing everything. She's like, "Ew, you play League of Legends? Like, I don't know if this will work." Or just like make witty comments about something she might not like just because it's contrary. It is not controversial, but it can be. It's opposing, right? So for it could have been anybody, right? And it just happened to be me. It's not the first time she's kissed somebody on stream, right? or like do content and it's controversial. So it just happened to be my turn, and
So,
I kind of understand the things and this, not the science, but like just understand I have to set my feelings aside and just understand if I'm going to do content that it's what it strictly
it
is.
doesn't
And
have, but it doesn't have to be that way. But you
right.
mentioned something that I want to point out. I went through
Okay.
and watched how she interacts with other friends of hers in the space, like Hassan and everyone like that. Why doesn't she treat them the same way she treated you? What's the deal with that then? How come she's able to do other content with other guys that aren't her perpetually insulting them the entire time, but
Okay.
you, the only content she does with you is to make you the punching bag? Why?
Okay. So I mean like she's not like for Hassan example, right? She went over and just kind of say the reality was like we just did a stream together. He was a nice guy.
You're a nice guy.
I Yeah, but she was also honest saying like I'm not super into that kind of content of political, right? But she appreciated the offer, right? So she will be real and say separate herself for a moment and just say this is what happened, yada yada yada, right? This is not like I don't know. It's just it's hard to kind of like, it's just like when you're on someone's team, right? And you don't want to mess up that dynamic, right? You're understanding that we're all playing parts on a team, right? And yeah, my role on that team is kind of fucked up, but some people are built that kind of way to be like put that stress on my shoulders and just like, because they care about people, and that's just how I felt
And it's
going into it.
and it's one-sided. Do you think she cares about you?
Yeah, genuinely. Like when I went through my breakup, she set me up on to have a dating show. Like
That's
a
using you
love
for
a
content again, though. That's
but
not looking out for you. That's still using you for content, and this is at your weakest moment, your most vulnerable. You've just gone through a traumatic experience, and she's immediately turning you into content. You,
I could have said I could have told her no. I could have said, "Let me
yeah, but
wait."
and it's not your fault. I'm not putting any blame on your shoulders. Like it's an opportunity. You're low right now because of this breakup, and now you have this girl who's like, "Hey, I've got a bunch of girls I can put you with if you do it on my stream." It's immediately turning you into content. That makes me feel even worse about this relationship because after you've gone through something, she immediately uses you for content.
Mhm. Okay. I mean, but to be fair, I mean, like, if she's just using me, why am I staying at her place? Why didn't I just get an Airbnb
Because
or a hotel or
it adds to the content having you there and keeping you around to constantly belittle and make it clear to her community like, hey, this guy doesn't have a chance, let's keep joking about it. It's all part of that same content cycle. Like you are playing this role which you have talked about, taking this burden which you don't need to do, you're above that, and
right,
she is using this because it is part of the joke. Like
right.
she is just farming this whole
Okay.
stigma of being a Twitch mod. He's not gonna ever fuck me, but he can stay here and we're gonna get content out of it by any means necessary. Here's an hour and 25 minutes of me shooting down everything he wants to do, everything he says, every advance, and make it clear I am disgusted by his presence. Now, if it's a role you want to play, I'm not gonna tell you you're a bad guy for it. I just
Okay.
want you to realize it's not healthy. This isn't a real friendship dynamic at all. Again, if she's like really sweet to you off stream and treats you like this publicly, then she is two-faced and is not actually a friend to you. And what you just said about how when you went through a very bad breakup, she immediately put you on a dating show makes me feel like she is constantly just using you as this source for content to laugh at and have her chat laugh at. Because I haven't seen her interact with anybody else this way. I watched her interact with other people in the community. I've seen her do this to a couple other guys on her stream, but that's the same role that they play that you do, where she just belittles them and insults them, which is still a bad thing, but you get it much worse because you are someone that genuinely seems to care about her. And I think that is so fucked up. You keep saying that it's just banter and jokes, but it's one-sided. She is the only one doing that. Eh, again, in that stream, you said one thing and it made you uncomfortable. It is sad. That is the only point I'm making. You, again, are not a bad-looking guy. You are not in bad shape. You are not creepy. You are not weird. You don't have to play this role for her. You don't have to be stuck being the weirdo Twitch mod who grosses her out so much she goes and fucking hawks in the bathroom and yaks, right? It's ridiculous. It's just mean for the sake of being mean. And if it's I know she claimed that it's all like an act and all that. It's the worst act of all time. Like, she is playing the bully. As Cinna said, there is no way she should expect people to think of her as anything more than a bully. Because that's all she's showing. And you are the only one that gets it this bad.
I mean, we're both getting it in some shape or form, right? Because we both agreed to have this kind of content idea put out there. I agreed to it. And there are times where I say I will be that role because,